sigma xi is your 1 by 3 xi square plus 4 xi plus 1. Rho xi is your xi square minus 1. So put xi equal to 1. You can immediately see that xi equal to 1 in your sigma and then rho prime. Rho xi is this, rho prime is your 2 xi, very obvious. So rho prime 1 is 2, sigma 1 is also 2. Immediately you can see here from here. Sigma 1 is 1 plus 4 plus 1, 6 divided by 3, that is your, immediately you see that. So basically it is K1 is, you get that it is 1. Is that clear? Is that
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Okay. Then immediately you can write down the root of the principal root xi 1h of the main characteristic equation. This one, 1. So we write that using this formula, and then we get that this is 1 plus h bar plus capital order h square. This we may write as e to power h bar. We are approximating this portion plus capital order h square. So we may take e to power h bar out. So still it will be your h bar into h bar square into e to power h, but e to power h minus h bar. Again that is 1 minus, so that will be again of capital order h square. So that's the reason it is e to power h bar is taken out, 1 plus capital order h square. Similarly, we will see for xi equal to minus 1, we have to calculate the growth parameter. So rho xi is this, rho prime xi is your 2 times xi, xi equal to minus 1, so rho prime minus 1 will be minus 2, and rho sigma minus 1, you can calculate it very easily. It is your 1 by, it is your minus 2 by 3. Put those values, so basically the growth parameter turns out to be minus 1 by 3, right? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then xi to h can be written as, once you have got the growth function, 1 plus your KIH, so it is your minus of your K2. K2 is your minus 1 by 3, so 1 minus 1 by 3 h bar, and then plus capital order because xi 2 is your minus 1. Xi 2 is your minus, so this minus is coming from there. 1 minus the ki is minus 1 by 3 h bar plus capital order h bar square. So this we can approximate by e to power minus h bar by 3, and minus is outside, so xi to h we may write as approximately as minus e to power minus h by 3 plus capital order h bar square. So we will just take this out, e to power minus h bar by 3, and then we can write 1 plus capital order h bar square, the way I have just told you, explained the previous one. Now, the general solution then can be written as C1 xi1 to power n, C2 xi2 to power n. So general solution is written as y1 yn equal to C1 e to power xi1 is your e to power n h bar. Capital order h square I have taken separately, from here and from here both is combinedly written here, and then C2, then minus 1 to power, because of this minus 1 to power n e to power minus nh bar, because its power n is there, nh bar cube nh bar by 3 plus capital order h square. Now this is your principal root. This is your, the first one I have written, this is your principal root. Second one is your extraneous root. You have to see whether the extraneous root goes to 0 for different lambdas or not. So for lambda greater than 0, it is very obvious that it goes to
0 because it is
right,
e to
because of
power
minus 1 minus nh bar is there, right? So this is the case when it will be stable. First solution is always it is close enough to your exact solution. That's the reason it is called the principal solution or principal root. Now So this page I will come back later on. It is part of that. Now, if lambda less than 0, immediately you can see that the other this solution lambda less than 0, this goes to this basically goes to lambda
Is
less than
unbound.
0. Yeah, h is greater than 0, so h bar will be less than 0, so this blows up. Once this blows up means exogenous root will not be in your control, basically meaning by that it goes to infinity, it blows up basically. So this is not the case when your stability is there, means it is the unstable case. Now we see h bar equal to 0, again rho xi is your xi square minus 1, so xi is plus minus 1 and the absolute stability is there, and then your weak stability, all those things you can see without any trouble. Next is your, this time I want your involvement. Write down this expression. Take your register. Write down this expression. Xi square minus 1 minus lambda h by 3. Xi square plus 4 xi plus 1 equal to 0. Write down this quickly. Everybody. Have you written that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you take this xi minus 1 on one side, and then remaining one is on the other side, and then divide by, first you write down this, or xi square, and then put lambda equal to ip, so that lambda h bar will be iph. Have you written that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then you simplify the way it is done. So you may write this way. Let me show one more term. You may write that pH can be written as 3. This 3 will be multiplied here, xi square minus 1 divided by this quantity. pH I have taken on the other side. So it will be your 3 xi square minus 1 divided by your I xi square plus 4 xi plus 1. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now divide by xi, numerator, denominator both.
Yes, sir.
So what did you get?
3
Vardhan?
xi minus 1 by xi
Vardhan?
divided by I xi plus 4 plus 1 by xi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are you doing or not?
Yes, sir. I'm solving.
So what you get? pH equal to,
3 into xi square minus 1 by I
no,
into.
divide by xi, numerator, denominator.
Okay, just a minute.
Shiva Dikshit.
Sir, we'll get 3 into xi minus 1. Xi minus 1.
Xi minus 1 by xi.
Yes, sir, xi minus 1 by xi by I into xi plus 4 plus 1 by xi.
Right. So now you put xi equal to e to power I theta, exactly the similar way I have done in the earlier case. Sneh Bandhu, you also.
Yes, sir.
Shiva Dikshit. Are you there? Shiva Dikshit. Shiva Dikshit. So you have done that? Okay. Now you put xi equal to e to power I theta and try to get the bound for pH. Try to get the bound for pH. I'm just coming in a moment. Did you get?
Yes, sir. We'll get it lies between 0 and 3.
Pardon me, what is that? Bound for pH?
Like close bracket 0 to 3.
0 to 3.
Yes, sir.
No. pH is always strictly greater than 0, right? So in that case, it will
Open
be
bracket 0 to close bracket.
open 0 and close 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So shall I explain that? How you get that, or you understood everybody? Anyway, it
Sir,
is
please
written here.
explain it.
Explain it. Who is that?
Sir, Sneh.
No, it's very simple. Nothing is there. It was on previous page basically. pH was, you get this thing, that 3 sine theta by 2 plus cos theta.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cos theta is greater than equal to, you know that cos theta, sine theta both. Cos theta is greater than equal to -1 and less than equal to 1.
Yes, sir.
Then 2 plus cos theta will be greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 3. You just add 2 on both the sides.
Yes, sir.
And then 1 upon that will be reverse. Inequality will be reverse. Means it is greater than 1 by 3 and less than or equal to 1 by 1 is again 1.
Yes, sir.
Right? So basically 1 upon 2 plus cos theta is strictly less than or equal to 1.
Okay, sir. Now got it.
So my magnitude of sine theta is less than or equal to 1. Right?
Yes, sir.
So then it is there. And then you can see that other Adam-Basford the method and Adams-Moulton method. I think this is given in this table is given in your book. That what is the range for their stability, absolute stability. So this table is given in your book. Let us see further now. So now you understood that how to apply, once a pure lambda is pure imaginary, how you can tackle the stability part, how you can get the region for the stability, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But it is not always that you will get in this form. So let us see certain other. So let us have one more definition, relative stability. I think this was given, that if xi ih leaving I equal to 1, magnitude of this is less than or equal to xi ih means it is the root of characteristic equation,
Characteristic equation.
not the reduced one. Reduced one is your xi I. Reduced one is basically your rho xi, right? So if magnitude of xi ih leaving first one is less than or equal to magnitude of xi 1h, that is the principal root. If all other roots, let us say that extraneous roots, if they are less than or equal to xi 1h, then it is very obvious that they are bounded. And once they are bounded means that is your magnitude of xi 1h. I mean, this is always the case with your stability case. And since it is relatively we are seeing, so that's the reason the word comes in relative stability, relatively stable. If this is happening for all i's, means 2 to 2, 3 and onward, that it is magnitude of this is less than or equal to magnitude of xi 1h, the principal one. Then we say it is relatively stable case. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will see that Adam-Basford method. Yn plus 1 equal to yn. Now here I want a little more from you people. This is your write down this Adam-Basford method, second order Adam-Basford method. Write down this.
Yes, sir.
Then what we'll do, you have to solve for y prime equal to lambda y. Means 3 yn prime minus yn minus 1 prime will become what? lambda yn 3 lambda yn minus lambda yn minus 1. So lambda will be out. So and then you put yn equal to xi to power n. Simplify that. I want that you people should get that characteristic equation this time. Do it quickly. Where is Shiva Dikshit? Where is Shiva Dikshit?
So like he commented in the chat section.
I have seen, but that has no meaning. Pooja Sharma, are you there? Pooja Sharma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Do
sir.
it and tell me. Are you
Yes,
doing the
sir.
problem or not? What I have said. Find out the characteristic equation for
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
case.
sir. I'm fine. Fine.
Oh, good. Anybody got that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So
Xi
it
square
is xi square minus 1 plus 3 by 2 lambda h into
So that is
xi.
your h bar. Write down that as h bar.
Yes, sir. 3 by
Into
2
xi
h bar into
plus
xi
h by
plus.
plus h bar by 2
Yes, sir.
equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
So you can find out the xi, the roots of the two roots of this. This is a quadratic equation. Vardhan,
Yes. Yes, sir.
did you get the same one or something else?
No, sir. I still didn't do. I'm doing.
Okay, do it, and then find out the two solutions. That is the quadratic equation. You can find out by minus b plus minus is square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. You remember that?
Yes, sir. Doing, sir.
Okay. Because unless until you people do, you cannot understand the whole thing. It is coming finally. This thing it is shown on the slide. Xi equal to 1 by 4 inside the bracket 2 plus 3h bar plus minus 2 roots are there, square root of 9h bar plus 4h bar plus 4. Check it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now again I am going back to the that Atkinson way. So I am telling both way. One I have told Atkinson way. Second one I have told through your book, the way it is given in your book. Now I will just rewrite this xi1h. You see, somehow we have to write in terms of the exponential form. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
we are just, yes, any question? Okay, so this is 1 by 2 plus 3 by 4h plus, if I take 4 out, so it will be power half, so it will be 2 out. So 2 by 4, that is 1 by 2, and then remaining terms are, I'm just seeing plus 1 only. That is, I'm writing as xi1h. So 1 plus h plus 9 by 4 h squared to power half. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll use the binomial expansion, writing this as 1 plus x, means 1 plus the x part will be h bar plus 9 by 4 h bar square, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is your this term, then 1 by 2, and this binomial expansion will be written as 1 plus nh. nh means 1 by 2 of this h bar plus 9 by 4 h bar square. So this is the second term. Third term will be, what will be the third term for 1 plus x to power n expansion?
N into n minus 1 by 2
N into
factorial.
n minus 1 by
2 factorial.
2 factorial, or 2, right? So
Yes, sir.
that will be, check whether it is coming like this. Check it. The next term which is written here, n into n minus 1, n is your 1 by 2, n minus 1 is half minus minus 1, that is your minus half. So that becomes minus 1 by 4. And then 2 factorial or 2 is there, so it becomes 1 by minus 1 by 8. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? And then outside 2 is there, then it becomes minus 1 by 16. Once you simplify.
Yes, sir.
So next term is written after opening that. After that, you will get higher order terms. Cube is there, its power 4, and other terms are there. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will just simplify this. So I'm not going much in detail. This will be your h1 plus h bar square by 2 plus capital order h bar cube. I'm just stopping at that place. We don't want beyond that. Right? So we may write this as e to power h plus capital order h cube term.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, we'll see the other term. With minus 1. So minus 1, 1 by h, 2 plus 3h bar minus 4 plus 4h plus 9h bar squared power half. Right? So this I have written in red one. This equals, I have rewritten this on top. And then I have written 2, 1 plus h bar plus 9 by 4 h bar square, and then next term, like that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So simplify that, and again we will see that xi2h will look like this way because this one gets cancelled out. This one gets cancelled out. Here it is 4 by 2 is 2 by 4 is there, 1 by 2. Here also you will get the same quantity. So finally this gets cancelled out. Right? So one is not there. It will start from h. So h bar divided by 2 minus h bar. So you take h by 2 out. So this is 1 minus h bar plus h square. So shall I leave this simplification? I have written each and everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will become e to power minus 1 minus h bar plus h bar square by 2, and other terms are there. So this we may write as e to power minus h bar. So h by 2 e to power minus h bar plus capital order s to h bar power 4. Right. So both the solutions we have already seen. Now we'll write the general solution. General solution will be C1 xi1 to power n, C2 xi2h to power n, right? Now these two functions is a difficult one how to analyze that. So we have drawn the graph. This is directly, it is given in your book also. I think it is given in your book. So the graph xi1h is your e to power h. E to power h bar. Its magnitude will be the same one. So the same graph will be there. This graph is for your e to power h bar. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at 0, you know e to power h is 1. So that's the reason it is right. This is your, the next solution is what? H bar, what is that? H bar by 2.
E to the power minus
H bar by 2 e to power minus h bar. So its magnitude, it is drawn here for certain values we have just seen. Either you draw directly or you can take certain values and try to see how it is happening. Right? Now, there are 2-3 things which we have to see once the graph is available. One is that these magnitudes should not exceed 1. That region we have to see. So magnitude of xi2h, xi1h, if we see this line, this value, that is your 1, because the e to power h bar cuts at this place, so this will be the line with your 1, right? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we have to see that up to what it is not exceeding xi2h. It turns out to be minus, up to minus 1 point. The value is less than 1. The value of xi2h bar is less than 1. Beyond that, it goes up. Beyond that, it goes up. I think the value I have somewhere written it is. At minus 1, it is minus 1.359. At minus 1. So at this point, it goes beyond that. Before that, it is inside 1. The magnitude is 1, because the value at minus 1, it turns out to be minus 1.359. So it is beyond 1. Means just before 1, means 1 cannot be considered. Till that, its value is, magnitude value is less than 1. Is that right? Xi2h.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And xi1h also, it is up to your 0, it is less than 1. Magnitude is less than 1. Right? So stability region will be from minus 1.0 open to 0, where both the solutions magnitude is strictly less than 1. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, another thing we have to see the relative stability. Relative stability means magnitude of xi1h up to what magnitude of xi1h is greater than the here only one more is there. So magnitude of xi2h is less than magnitude of xi1h. You see this reason. That is your, at the point your minus 2 by 3. Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the reason minus 2 by 3 to 0 is the relative stable region. Is the relative region for the relative stability. And beyond minus 1, including even, I mean on the left hand side, it will be unstable.
Not
It will
relative.
be
Unstable.
unstable. Right? So graphically also you can do that. So now is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Vardhan?
Yes, sir.
Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I think I have already taken up different examples. Something from your another book I have taken, Atkinson. Something I have taken from your book, and both way it has been explained to you. So this, except your Hurwitz criteria, this completes one stability part, right? This completes one stability part, and Hurwitz criteria I will do separately, because that I have to start from the beginning. From the middle part, you may not be able to understand. You have to use your brain a bit. So that's the reason I'm not taking up that part. Right? I will take up another thing. So let me first share that slide, and then I will come back to you. A very simple and interesting thing. Part of that you have already done. In the very beginning, I have started with these type of things. Slide is visible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember this I have told in the very beginning, maybe the very first lecture or second lecture? That write down the Taylor expansion for yx plus h, yx minus h.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
So it is very clearly mentioned here. There also it was mentioned there in the beginning also. So I have written yx plus h expansion, that is your yx plus h y prime x plus h square by 2 y double prime x plus h cube by 3 factorial y double prime y triple prime x plus h to power 4 by 4 factorial, 4 derivative of y at the point xi. I will explain this. I have already explained that I have taken the xi for both expansion x minus h and x plus h by if h is very, very small. This I have explained in the beginning also. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yx minus h is your yx minus hy prime x plus h square by 2 factorial, y double prime minus h cube by 3 factorial, y triple prime plus s to power 4 by 4 factorial, 4th derivative of y at the point xi. And then xi will lie between from x minus h to x plus h. H is very, very small. Right? First we'll add these two, 3 and 4. First we'll add these two, then what will happen? 2yx, and this goes off, then 2h square by 2 factorial y double prime, so that we write as h square y double prime, and then the odd term again, the h cube term will go off, and then this one, the 2 times of the 4th term will be there. So I have just written here yx plus h plus yx minus h equal to 2ix plus this is basically h square y double prime plus 2 h to power 4 by 4 factorial, 4th derivative of y at the point xi. Is that point clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will be h to power 4 by 4 into 3 into 2. That is your 4 factorial. So 2 gets cancelled out. Basically h to power 4 by 12, right? Or we may write h square y double prime as yx plus h plus yx minus h minus 2yx minus h, the error term, that is h power 4 by 12, 4th derivative of y at the point xi. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So if we write h square y double prime equal to yx plus h plus yx minus h minus 2yx only, then we'll commit this much of the error, and this will be the approximation for your y double prime, h square y double prime. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now write down this. Write down on your paper register. That is y prime y double h square yk double prime equal to, if you write yk double prime, then it will become what? Yk plus 1 plus yk minus 1, right? Minus 2yk. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, everybody writes that the differential equation, write down second order differential equation y double prime equal to 2. I will show this slide, don't worry. Write down y double prime equal to 2. Have you
Yes, sir.
written?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then y0 is 0, y0 is 0, y1 is 1. y0 is 0, y1 is 1.
Yes, sir.
What is the exact solution of this? Just simply integrate it. Twice the two constants will come. Evaluate using your y0 and y1, you will get the constants. So what will be the solution, exact solution? Quickly tell. Vardhan, are you
Sir, do.
there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do it quickly. Tell me. It's a simple, just left hand work. You don't require even right hand. Just
2x
simply
square minus
integrate
6.
it twice.
2x square
Pardon me?
minus x. 2x square minus.
No, check it again.
X square minus x. Sorry.
Sir, x square.
X.
Only x square it will come. Snehbandhu, you are doing some mistake. Right? Check it, Snehbandhu.
Yes, sir.
Got it? Or? Okay. Now I will show that. This is called the boundary value problem because there are two conditions and given at the 2 points, boundary points. Let us say this means the interval of this one is your 0 to 1. The interval of this one is your 0 to 1. Is that right? So subdivide this interval. You see here I have written 0 and then 1. Using your h as 1 by 4, this will be 0, 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4 and then 1. So that will be your x0 first one, then x1, x2, x3 and last one will be x4. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you have y double prime equal to 2. These are the points in the interval, discrete points xk. So let us say general point is your xk, right? So y double prime at the point xk equal to 2 will be satisfied because that point is inside this interval. The way we
Yes.
have done the right initial value
Yes.
problem. So
Yes.
yk double prime equal to 2. Let us multiply by h square on both the sides. So this will be h square yk double prime equal to 2h square. I'm not writing the error term. I'm just writing the only approximation. So yk double prime will be written as yk plus 1 minus 2yk plus yk minus 1 by h square, or h square into yk double prime can be written in this form, right? So what you get, yk plus 1 minus 2yk, replace this, h square yk double prime, yk plus 1 minus 2yk plus yk minus 1 equal to 2h square. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now you write, you are writing on your notebook.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now take k equal to 1. Take k equal to 1. Vardhan?
Yes, sir, doing, sir.
And take k equal to 1. So this will be y2 minus 2y1 plus y0 equal to 2h square. The first equation will be this one. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But what is y naught?
0.
0. So this you get the equation modified as 2y1. I have multiplied by minus. Here itself, the equation itself, I have first multiplied by minus yk minus 1. In this, I have multiplied by minus. Does not matter. If you multiply minus both sides, then there won't be any trouble. There is a reason behind that. That I will tell you later on. Minus yk minus 1 plus 2yk minus yk plus 1 equal to minus 2h square, right? So with k equal to 1, this becomes 2y1 minus y2 equal to minus 2h square, right?
Yes, sir.
And put the value, h is 1 by 4, so this will be 1 by 16, so this becomes 2h square, minus 2h square becomes minus 1 by 8. Right?
Yes, sir.
Write this as equation 1, that 2y1 minus y2 equal to minus 1 by 8, equation 1. Have you written?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next we go for k equal to 2. K equal to 2 will get minus y1 plus 2y2 minus y3 equal to 2h square. This is for k equal to 2. Now you can see on this slide, minus y1 plus 2y2 plus minus y3 equal to, it is written in that order basically, so that you should not face into, equal to minus 2h square. H is where, so again it is minus 1 by 8 for k equal to 2. Get this?
Yes, sir.
Pooja Sharma,
Yes,
do you understand this, or any trouble is there?
I understand, sir.
Okay, so this you write as second equation, equation number 2, right? Next go for k equal to 3. So with k equal to 3, you will get here minus y2 plus 2y3 minus, this will become what? y4. Is that right? Is that right? Snehbandhu?
Yes, sir. K equal to 3, y4. Yes, sir.
y4. What is y4?
Y4 is 1.
Because it is x4.
Yes, sir.
That is at 1. So y1 is 1, so y4 is 1, right? Put that value, simplify that. So third equation becomes minus y2 plus 2y3 equals minus 7 by 8. Right?
So could you explain the last part again, like y4? I did not get that.
Okay. You see the subdivision. Subdivision is, you have taken h as 1 by 4. So it is 0. 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4, 4 by 4. That is 1. Right?
Yes, sir.
And this is your total interval 0 to 1. So x4 is 1. x4 is 1.
Yes, sir.
And then y1 is given what? You see the boundary condition.
Oh,
It is
1.
given as 1. So y4 will be, y at the point x4 will be 1 or y4 will be 1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it. Yes.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have got 3 equations. 1, 2, 3 for k equal to 1, k equal to 2, k equal to 3, k equal to 1 and k equal to 3 you have modified because you had certain values in your hand. So
Yes,
these
sir.
3 equations can be written in the following matrix form. I have written the vector y1, y2, y3. You see the first equation is 2y1 minus y2 equal to minus 1 by 8. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Second equation minus 2y1 plus 2y2 minus y3 equal to minus 1 by 8. Right?
Yes, sir.
Third equation is your
0 minus 1
y1
plus
is
2.
not there, minus y2 plus 2y3 equal to minus 7 by 8.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you remember Gauss elimination? Do you remember Gauss elimination? Anybody? Snehbandhu, Vardhan, Pooja Sharma?
So like we can directly use the calculator to find y1, y2,
No,
y3.
no. Don't use that. Otherwise, you will miss something. Right? What is Gauss elimination? Can you tell me?
So like we write the augmented matrix and then keep solving it.
No. Nothing of that. What is Gauss elimination? Can you tell me? First, you tell me Gauss elimination. What you do in that? Do you remember something? Snehbandhu?
We like I don't exactly remember. We form
You
row
reduce
echelon
the
form.
wait. You reduce the matrix equation into
Like
Row
0 in the diagonal. No, like
the
zero.
upper triangular or lower triangular form.
yes.
You remember that? And then if you have reduced into upper triangular form, then the last value will be only one value, one equation in one unknown. Then you have to do the backward substitution, right?
Yes, sir.
Please don't talk during the class. Some noise is coming. Some people are talking, right? So you revise that this, and then I will tell one more way. So at least you should know that this is called the Thomas also. That why it is called Thomas, I will tell that. You see this matrix. This has a special type. You see, diagonal entries are there. 2, 2, 2. Did you see that? Vardhan?
Yes, sir.
Then just you see the upper diagonal one, -1, -1. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Then
sir.
lower diagonal, -1, -1.
Yes, sir.
Snehbandhu?
Yes, sir.
So it has 3 diagonals. One is the main diagonal, and then one upper diagonal and one lower diagonal. So this is called the tri-diagonal matrix, or this system is called the tri-diagonal system. Write down. TRI, tri, and then diagonal system or the matrix. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Another name is also there. It is called 3-band matrix. 3-band, BAND, same spelling. It is called 3-band matrix. Since this matrix is very small, if you have more number of elements, it is 6 by 6, 7 by 7 or something of that kind. You may have diagonal entries and then 2 off diagonal entries on both the sides. On the upper side 2 diagonals, lower side 2 diagonals. Then it will be called 5-band matrix, right? Here only 1 and 1 is there, so in that case you'll get 5 bands. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these matrices have a special character, and the whole theory is developed, whole theory is available. We can find the inverse, we can check when the inverse will exist, and that's the reason it is written in this particular form. That's the reason it is written in this particular form, right? So I leave this as an exercise. You revise your Gauss elimination. Don't use your calculator. Solve this using by Gauss elimination. Vardhan?
Yes, sir. I already used calculator.
Yeah, it is very simple. Why? You see, you have to just reduce 2 entries. -1 and -1 to 0. As soon as reduce these 2 entries, it will become in the upper triangular form. Is that or not?
Yes, sir.
So only 2 entries are required to be made to be 0. And you understand you have to apply how you have to do that, and then you do the backward substitution. So once you do that, then the last equation, from the last equation you have to see that only one entry y3 equal to whatever it will come after doing that, equal to something, so y3 is known. And then if you see the prior one, it is whatever is only 2 entries will be here in the just upper row. So 2 equations, the 2 unknowns, that is your y2 and y3. Y3 is known, so y2 is known. And the last one, your y2, y3 is known, so y1 can be known, right? That is called your backward substitution, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know the exact solution. After, if you don't use your calculator, you will get exactly the same value. Exactly the same value. So you have got the idea how to discretize a boundary value problem, how to get a method for boundary value problem, numerical method, and solve that. So you understood that, you got that. So that's the reason I have taken a very simple example. So is this clear to everybody? And the approximation which I have written here, that is yk double prime equal to yk plus 1 minus 2yk plus yk minus 1 by h square is called the, write down, is called the central difference approximation for y double prime. Is called the central, CENTRAL, central difference, DIFFERENCE, difference approximation for y double prime. Right? Bandhu?
Yes, sir.
Vardhan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so today I will close at this stage only because you have exam also on next Thursday. So Thursday we won't be able to take the class. The class will not be held because your exam is there during that time, right? So all the best for your exam. Do it well. Don't copy.
Sir, can
Ask me.
you confirm the syllabus once?
It is already sent.
Yes, sir, through mail, but it was written just confirm with your class professor once. section, Professor.
What do you mean by them? Once
like
the
in-
coordinator has
So-
sent that,
Sir, like
No,
sir,
but in that mail it was
in the mail it was written that stability is not there. Anyways, just confirm with your class professor once.
it is not. It is. This is also written.
yes, sir.
No, the stability is not there. So you should have asked pointed one rather than asking the general one. That it was written, and so stability is not there. So
Okay, thanks.
leaving this stability means what? Stability of multi-step method is not there. Right? She was Saluja talking.
Yes, sir. Okay,
Okay.
sir, got it. Stability of
Stability of single step method is there, but stability multi-step method is not there. This BVP which I told started today is also not there.
Yes.
As far as this first exam is concerned. Right?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Vardhan?
No, sir.
Snehamandu? Pooja?
Yes, sir.
There is it MCQ or subjective type?
Pardon me? That cannot be told. That cannot be told. It will be subjective. You have to do the things.
Sir, will navigation be there?
Pardon me?
So navigation.
What you are asking? Your voice is
Sir,
not clear.
navigation.
Navigation
Yes, sir.
means what? What do you want to know for the navigation?
No, sir, I am asking like if I will go to the next question, will I will be able to come back to the first question or not?
That I don't know. If, possibly not.
Okay,
But
sir.
it will be mentioned there. You know the module. It will be through module. Pooja?
Yes, sir, yes.
It will be through module. You people are already appearing for exams through module.
No, sir, but like it depends. Sometimes navigation is there and sometimes not.
Yes, sir. It depends. Like some
You
professor
see, I
keep
tell you,
navigation.
you people also know that people got 97, 98 marks percentage of the marks last semester. You also might have got. Do you remember that? Last semester, your courses, whatever you have done. You should speak now, Pooja.
Yes, sir.
So you can understand what is happening.
Yes, yes.
So that's the reason we have to also put certain restrictions. We cannot see from here that what you people are doing. And we know it very well that what you people are doing. Right? So be careful. Whatever is written there, accordingly do that. Right? Do the problem carefully. So all the best to everybody. So I will close today at this stage. Snehbandhu, you want to ask something? Snehbandhu.
No, sir. Like I was just confirming, everything will be written